So we have spawning in the bottom right-hand corner as our orange Terran, we have TTF, and in the top left-hand corner we have Solzy Castro. Hopefully the sound balance is alright. If it is off, anything's too loud, too quiet, we can make a few adjustments here. But outside of that, I think we're ready to go. So we'll see Castro saying why you no have turn rate. So we can probably infer the turn rate for these games is fairly low. TTF, I don't remember where TTF is from. Castro is a South American player. So I'm sure Avi will have some thoughts on Castro. He is opinionated about, well, most players, but South American players in particular. And Overlord for Castro obviously headed in the wrong direction. This is an interesting Overlord scouting path for Circuit Breaker. Perhaps just trying to be sneaky, or perhaps leery of a Marine going up here to check and intercepting the Overlord if it was an 8-Rax. And SCV here rolling out for TTF. Are we making... what? Okay, just an early scout through the center-ish? Or are we going to make a second Rax over here for like an 11 2-Rax, hidden 2-Rax? Or are we just checking for the Overlord? Or what are we doing? I guess we're just checking for the Overlord here. I don't know if we would it have found it? From that kind of a scouting pattern? I have no idea. I have no idea. This SCV is up to something. Okay. A little bit of a stutter there, and we got a drone going out here to scout for Castro. Oh, does this SCV just like really want to find the Overlord, or was this like check here and then go scout over there? Yeah, I guess that's what it must have been. It must have been just still thinking he can see the Overlord coming this way, and now he's just gonna go check the top base. But of course, Castro has duped him a little bit. We'll see if he sees the Overlord here. No, he is not going to see it. And in the meanwhile, Castro just has his pool. He has his hatch. It was a 12-hatch opener. TTF has not found anything yet, so he is going to be forced to make at least a Marine before Command Center. And we'll see how confident he's feeling. It looks like he's going to go CC after one Marine. Drone here to be a little bit annoying, but it can't take this fight for long with a Marine to assist. And so that Command Center goes down here for TTF. And we've got a third hatch from Castro, as well as a gas. So far looking relatively normal, relatively standard and ordinary. And TTF has still not found Zerg. He's been completely duped by this Overlord scouting pattern of Castro. He's like, oh my god, I mean, his SCV walked all the way over here, then we went over there, then we went cross map, and now finally arriving at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, TTF will find the Zerg player. Just in time to have a few links pop. Oh my god, it would have been great if those links would have already been there and been able to get on the ramp, and he would have just been like, oh my god. Alright, link speed first here for Castro. So we'll see if he intends to do something with some Zerglings, as obviously normally Lair would be the first choice, and a second barracks from TTF, along with an academy here. So definitely not the +1 5-Rack style. We're going to see a little bit earlier Marine pressure, maybe force a sunken or two with those two medics, and then probably won't go into 5-Racks play. We'll probably see something more like 3-Racks tech or 2-Racks tech or something of that nature. SCV taking quite a few hits. Good control here from Castro. And of course we can see the layer is now started. Second gas taken after that, as is typical. So again, it still looks very standard from Castro. A depot going up here from TTF to reduce some of these surface area links around. The SCV gets picked off. And we're just waiting to see where this is going to go for TTF. Looks like we have still a few more Marines in production. Wants to get that count up. He is going to add a bunker. Probably in response to that slower layer, and there are the lings here from TTF, or from Castro, and this is more than just a few lings. And of course, no spotting SCV, so TTF does not know that a lot of Zerglings are being produced. Hopefully we've got some meds in the way. Yes, we do, and we are just now starting stim. And these Lings are sneaking around. Now, there's two possibilities. One is he'll run in here, which I think is the most likely. But the other possibility is he'll be very patient, pretend like he only has a few Lings, wait for TTF to move out, and then charge in with the backstab. But given that he's putting everything at the front, this is just Castro's going in, and there are not SCVs on top of the bunker. So the bunker will fall. I don't think the SCVs can get there in time, can they? No, they definitely can't. Ling's already on top of that. So that goes, but the ramp block is solid, and Castro's going to have to pull out. He does kill the bunker, but whoa, is this an overextension here by TTF? Definitely losing a few Marines that he didn't need to. And then the Marines, unfortunately, accidentally walk on top of the Zerglings, but medics are pretty strong, so that sort of fizzles out. It gave TTF probably a little bit of a scare, but honestly, he was in a pretty smart position, kind of had an idea that was coming, and Castro has just thrown away a lot of Lings to kill 3 or 4 Marines, and it's not like Muta are imminent, and having the Marine count be super low is something you can take advantage of. So I don't think TTF is too stressed about this. Castro probably not liking his position as much, and actually TTF is going to go to 4 racks here. Range still quite a ways away from being done, but that's okay because we did delay the lair. So these are not going to be super speedy Mutalisks coming out. And an SCV just looking here for incoming Lings, but Marines are on top of this. And a few being left back here. Actually, TTF blocking his ramp, taking Castro's speedlings very serious. And TTF a little bit sloppy there with the control. Does bleed a Marine. And will he get... Okay, so not only has Castro made all those Lings, but the pressure here from TTF is enough to scare Castro into making 2 creep colonies. So excellent position. Obviously, as a result, Castro's economy is really suffering. Barely 1 drone per patch. Certainly not the normal 30 or so drones you would see if you were playing a vanilla 2-hatch Muta. Now, TTF does go pretty quickly into the tank. And the Muta out now for Castro. We've got a few turrets going up here in the natural. Hopefully we have a few in the main. That one's actually a little tight. And the Marines are very far away from home. So this is a bit scary right now for TTF. These Muta, if they're well controlled, can definitely get some damage done. There's only 3 or 4 Marines in the main base right now. So the turrets are going to fall. And that's going to open up a lot of space for the Muta to be able to harass for quite some time. And we can see there is the sneak out group from TTF, but Castro has built the sunken. Let's see if he's morphed the other sunken back at home. Yeah, okay, he's actually got 3, so this force should be of no consequence. Castro able to focus on this Mutalisks pressure. And just circling around there in the main, picking off SCVs. And these Marines are here without medics, so TTF is going to bleed a lot of units here to Castro's Muta. Now, 2 turrets, a little more than these want to take off. He'll stay and continue to pick off Marines. I mean, anytime Mutalisks are over the rally point, pretty annoying here. And that is at least a control group now that has gone down for TTF. And all he's got, actually, he doesn't even have anything garrisoned in the bunker. So the Lings can run in and go for the turrets. And these Muta, despite there only being 7 or 8 of them, are getting a tremendous amount of damage done. But this time TTF gets a good repair. It's going to force Castro back. Returning Marines here. Going to pick off one of the Muta. Many of them are now lower health. Yeah, we can see they're down to 4 as well. And the concern is I didn't see a contingency plan last I was looking through the base. It is just Muta right now. There's no lurker. There's no transition out of this currently. So yeah, the Muta definitely did a lot of damage. And had this been a normal 3-hatch Muta position, Castro would have loved it. But yeah, we've got a little bit of turn rate bitching. Understandable, but alright, here we go. So let's see where's Castro going to go. There's 2 turrets here. Let's see if he can get them down. They should be more than enough to take them down. The Marines are out of position, so he will open up these turrets, but the Marines then back in time to defend. Turrets just doing what they're supposed to do, buying a little bit of time, giving that little bit of assist. Muta up to full amount for Castro. Although I do have to say for Castro, he is opting to continue to go heavy Muta, not going for lurker, etc., despite the turn rate. So a little bit of that on him. We got a spotting factory here, so these turrets will fire, but the factory is going to have to be repositioned. And we have our science facility up. We're going to have a vessel soon, I would imagine. Looks like perhaps a little gas starved, has not added that second gas yet. And the Muta have found a nice spot here behind the minerals just to do a little bit of harass. But again, we're going to have this base taken. That's going to be a hard base for Castro to hold, unless he's just planning to go legit pure Muta, which maybe he is. In fact, yes, that is exactly what he's planning to do. So he's just going to start taking bases, try to keep Terran occupied, and just mass up a large number of Muta, and more or less just A-move the Marine groups when they get small enough. This one he can just afford to fight because, well, it was out without a medic, so an overcommitment there from TTF, and a lot more Muta arriving here for Castro, but he really needs more gases to make this work, and he's going to want some sort of answer here for these vessels. And then the real question is, once TTF sniffs out what is going on here, will he transition into some Valkyries that perhaps add even more support than the Irradiates from the Science vessels, particularly if the Muta are well split up? The Irradiates will hit some, but I feel like Irradiate doesn't deal with huge clouds of Mutas that well. Now we got a big clump moving in here, but, well, I guess Castro's going to take it, but he's going to bleed a lot of his Muta in order to take it, and now down to less than a control group. Doesn't actually kill all the Marines. Don't think that was quite worth it for him. He needs those large groups right now to keep TTF pinned back home and able to get 3 or 4 gases and really mass up like that. His +1 attack getting very close to being done. He has not gone for the armor yet, which against Marines, I would think armor might be a little bit nicer. +1 attack pretty good against Goliath and Mech, but I would think against +1 Marines, I would think you'd want to reduce the armor. I don't know if the damage is going to be quite as strong. And running in here with a stim, just doing a little bit of harass still, just kind of TTF still concerned, but the Marine count for TTF is gradually growing. Looks like he's up to about 2 control groups. Really unfortunate for him that he lost so many there in that early part of the game. It would have helped him a ton if he would have had, you know, like 3+ groups to work off of. And there is now a vessel out, and of course we have not seen a single Scourge yet from TTF. And actually, no, never mind. He has decided he is not going to commit to Muta. We have an Irradiate goes down here. That's a pretty good split. Gets that one right out of the group. We are going to transition into Lurkers after all. Carapace upgrade on the way, and a large force moves out here for TTF as Castro tries to dual expand. He's got this one running. But again, these are going to be difficult bases to defend. You're going to be down a ramp with your Lurkers. Even 2 or 3 Lurkers don't inherently choke off one of these ramps. So we'll see how well TTF deals with this. This base is dead 100% right now. Nothing to be done about that. And do we have any sign of a hive? No, we do not. But we also saw there were no tanks, so it's not going to be tank pressure. It's just going to be vessels and Irradiates. But it should be pretty easy, I feel like, for TTF to just break up some key locations. And with the delayed hive, Castro is going to have to rely on mass units and getting some good lurker link. Whoa! These drones just kind of snuck on by. So that is fortunate as... Okay, so TTF is just... Oh, he's got 1-1. Okay. He's got 1-1. He's got his double starports. Perhaps we'll see some more barracks fairly soon. We do have a large Ling Lurker Muta force out on the map. And it looks like TTF is going to come in here. But does he know about this base? The fact that he's not pressuring in this direction certainly makes me think he has not scanned or sniffed out this base. And he's just going to go for a bust. But remember, there's a large group of Zerg coming in from the other side, and he is fighting at the Sunkens. I have a pretty good feeling Castro will be able to force this back or outright clean it up. It looks like force it back is the answer for right now. Not enough to continue in there on those Marines, especially with 2 vessels, although neither have an Irradiate. But the hold is solid for Castro, and of course this base is just sitting over here cheekily mining away. And TTF is still producing off of only 4 barracks. He's gonna need more soon. And or expand. He is building that command center, so that is good. He's going to need that. And it looks like the Muta are starting to whittle these down, and we're down to just 4 or 5 Marines here. Quite a few medics and 2 vessels, but those vessels are in danger. And now the Lurkers are going to move forward, going in for this round. No reaction from TTF. This will evaporate, and the dropship will probably be seen by Castro, who is likely to be actively microing this. But is it going to slip by and get some Marines down? And the Irradiate goes down, but there are Lings here to meet it, and that should be enough to clean it up. And by the pickup, that means the dropship is committing to its own death. And this not going well for TTF now. Castro rolling on 3 bases. TTF will now 100% know about this base. If he didn't already, the Spore's going to finish it off. And now he's playing against a Castro comfortably on 3 bases. and only has this small group of Marine and Medic. He did save his 2 vessels, but they're going, I don't know where they're going. He seems to still be gas-starved-ish because he's not making more vessels. I don't know where they are. He is floating out, trying to get control of a 3rd base, and now we see a few more barracks going down. So he's keeping control of his macro, but he has not been able to do anything to dent Castro's 3rd, and Castro's now growing economy here. And upgrade status for Castro. It looks like he's got the 1 carapace. Should be headed towards, yeah, 2-1 here. And will the Marines get back? Yes, they will, just in time. And the vessels will be, 2 of them will be saved. 1 of them will die. And Castro just kind of chilling out here with this lurker force. And a few irradiates are going to go down, so he's going to kill 2 of those lurkers. Hive transition finishing up now here for Castro. And the status of upgrades... looks like we are double upgrading to 2-1. It'll be a little bit faster, and Castro has missed this location, so this base will get denied. 2 out of position to be able to save that. Forces a cancel, and TTF now going to swing up, so that's a good move here from TTF, but at the same time, we're going to have a counter from Castro here. There's a bunker already there. Marines moving back into position. 2nd bunker will finish. Marines should hopefully hop in. We have a ghost, ladies and gentlemen. We have a ghost. 2 bunkers ought to be enough to hold this off. So for the first time, Castro overcommits to something. Although some Muta are swinging in here. Will it be enough to maybe break this bunker? Yes, and the ghost is going to fall down. And that leaves nothing here. The lurkers can move in on the SCVs. So all of a sudden, it looked like TTF was going to hold comfortably. But now he needs to be careful here. If he starts losing all the SCVs at his 3rd base, that puts him back onto 2 base against Castro's 3. And now Castro expanding to perhaps a more securable location in that top base. TTF doing a little bit of checking for extra bases, kind of clearing this out. Does see the drone over there. But units starting to flood out now. These Marines are pressuring, but they only have 2 medics, and there are 2 vessels here, so we can irradiate potentially some of the lurkers, but it'll leave quite a few more, and Castro is going to reinforce this counter here at the bottom position, and the 3rd base now under lurker siege, and Castro about to shut down mining here for TTF, forcing that lift. Now, there's not a ton of SCVs here, so it's not like he's losing all of his SCVs, but the mining is certainly significant. He's just lost 6 or 7 mineral patches, and he's very close to mining out. We actually have a nuke silo. I was wondering about that when I saw the ghost, but now I'm wondering, are we going to get to see the attempt at nukes? It's looking like Castro might just run TTF over before that point happens. TTF is having trouble stabilizing on the map. He's got units in various places, but not in the key places, it would seem right now, and he has not been able to retake this 3rd base yet. SCV is now returning to mine. And the supply for TTF starting to dip below the supply for Castro. And remember, Castro now has Hive, and he's about to have 4 gases, and a 3rd base not even secured for TTF. This nuke is going to need to do some wonders for him if he even gets the chance to get it off. Has he remade a ghost? Okay, he is remaking a ghost in one of these somewhere. Where was the ghost? Okay, he is remaking that ghost. Definitely committed to the idea of the nuke. But where does he want to nuke? Probably sneak it over here and try to nuke at this base. Of course, 1 nuke is not enough to kill a hatchery. And unfortunately, Zerg is not Protoss, so you can't grab a vessel, EMP the Nexus, and then nuke it to go for the kill. You would need 2 nukes if you actually want to kill the hatchery, but of course 1 well-placed nuke can clean out all the Sunkens and Lurkers, which makes it pretty easy to dive and bust the wounded hatchery. Alright, this time it looks like TTF will intercept this little counter force here from Castro, but the Defiler needs to get irradiated. Okay, the irradiate is plugged down. Is there a second Defiler? No, there is not. Small group of Marine and Medic here, just escorting Mr. Ghost around the map. And Castro is expanding here, but there are units for TTF if he wants to deny that base. Now, Comsats on the other 2 base, pretty necessary to have the Comsats. Lurker just kind of chilling. And we have the nuke being set up. Will Castro figure out where it is? It can be pretty hard to find this red dot, and it looks like no, he is not going to find it. These Marines might be in range of the nuke, though. Here we go. Bam. And we get a little freeze frame. But at the same time, Castro's countering here to the bottom, but with double bunkers and a lot of Marines, I don't think this counter is going to go too far at all. It needs a Defiler to be successful, but now the front gate is down, and TTF swinging in here, looking to try to kill the hatchery. Marines running in. He's target firing the Lurker. The Lurker is down, and the Sunken is about to fall. Can Castro get enough units over to save the hatchery? It's possible. Let's see how the control is here from TTF. The Lings are coming in. Hivelings are pretty strong. Lurker's going to get burrowed. TTF is going to swing up, and some of these drones will probably fall. He goes for the target hatchery snipe, and he will get the hatchery, but then it looks like the rest of his force is going to get cleaned up. Trying to target fire a Lurker. Castro drilling on top of these Marines, and he will get the other Lurker, and there's still 3 Marines left. He's trying to drill on top of them, but he's actually going to force the run. So TTF does break this base with the use of the nuke, getting some value out of that. But remember, there is still a third gas, so all hope is not lost for Castro. And Castro still has a lot of units for TTF to worry about. Do we see a Defiler in any of these groups? Actually, yeah, we see just one, though. And what is this? Do we have a double drop coming out here from TTF? Yes, and also some units being sent down towards the bottom. And suddenly it seems a little bit like Castro's the one who's having a hard time keeping up. And there's no Scourge to intercept this drop, so this counter needs to do a lot. The Defiler, though, TTF doesn't see it. It's going to get a swarm down, which will almost certainly force a lift on that third base. And possibly even more losses than that. Really needs to respond with these vessels, but he's busy with this drop in the main. He is going to get to the Defiler Den, but just not enough multitask to keep up on both fronts. But of course, Castro seems to be in the same situation here, as there's zero response to this drop, which means that Castro is going to lose more or less all of his main. Okay, he's finally trying to get some units back here. We do have some Lurkers burrowing. Will it be enough to clean this up? Quite a few fire bats, and no scans going down. TTF has his hands full here back at home with this Defiler. Still has not been, or okay, he doesn't actually have enough, never mind, to drop that Irradiate. So that is very annoying for TTF and very threatening. And of course, the Defiler can keep consuming up to a point, but he should have just enough now. And I think he's sitting there ready to irradiate that bad boy. So that is going to end the push into the natural. But Castro's still running off 3 bases, finally cleaning up this drop. He's only lost the Defiler Den and an Evo Chamber out of that. So yeah, Evo Chamber is a nice snipe. Is going to keep that damage on 1 against what is probably 2 Armor Marines. So these Lings are going to be kind of weak. And we already saw that. They weren't killing Marines very effectively over here at this base. But Castro now establishing a 4th base. And this lost mining for TTF is such a big deal right now. I do like this decision from Castro to throw down a swarm here, because boom, boom, there's essentially no mining right now for TTF. Whereas Castro's is like, yeah, I got a base. I got a few mineral patches here. I'm reestablishing this base. So TTF, I feel like he pretty much has to break this base, like, right now. And Castro's actually sending more Lings across the map here, more Lurkers. He's going to come back and defend, but you know what? There's no vessel, so there's no way he can break this. Unless there's a dropship escort. Okay, he's got 1 vessel, but 1 vessel without an Irradiate is going to do absolutely nothing. Like, it's a little bit of a force there, and it did keep an expansion from going down here. Okay, now if we've got 2 more vessels, now we can start to threaten this a little bit more. But the counter unit's still down here, completely denying this base. And, oh, we got a random Lurker burrowed here. That's going to do a little bit of damage. And so TTF is unable to kill this base and unable to reestablish this base. And time is definitely against him in this situation. Zergs do mine out a bit slower. So he's just burned through all his money. If he has a misstep with this Marine force, it's over right then and right there. He's going to try to run in, perhaps, over here towards the main and go again for the break. And the Lurkers are fairly far away from the Nidus, but a decent number of units over here. This vessel's just kind of chilling. And he's running across. No Lurkers morphed yet, so the Marines might be able to come across the bridges. He charges forward. Obviously, there's no Defiler. We did see the Defiler Den get sniped. And is he irradiating some of these Lurkers? I assume that's what's going on back at home. A few Lurkers getting burrowed. He needs good splits, though. One of those Lurkers go down. Castro's going to try to move back and burrow, but more Lings popping out of the Nidus, and it looks like enough Lurkers and Scourge on the vessels gets them all. Wonderful snipe there from Castro, and I think TTF is about out. He's splitting, he's going for it, but it's just too many Lurkers, and TTF is out and done. Castro will take the game. So that one goes to Castro. Pretty much all started after he had that success with those initial Muta and was just able to continue from there. At one point, TTF had almost gotten back into it, but the incessant counters at the third, TTF was just not able to handle those counters, and in the end, the game kind of slipping away for him. The nuke idea was good. He definitely got some mileage out of that. But without his third base running, he just dried up a little bit. So I guess you could say Castro a little bit more solid with the multitasking, the high mechanical demand of that style of game. It was not one group fighting in one location. It was constant little pieces of harass and counters and units everywhere, and Castro just gradually better. But of course he did get a nice advantage with those initial Muto where he just was able to come in while TTF was out with his small force. So we will now head into Castle versus Ultra, otherwise known as NRT UltraLing. ZVP on Circuit Breaker. And yeah, if you're wondering, there's a little bit of blood on my chin. We had a little bit of a miscue with a sharp object used on someone's face. So bottom right-hand corner, as the teal Zerg, we have NRT's UltraLing. And in the top position here, as the orange Protoss, we have longtime Team Liquid poster and I guess reasonably well-known player, formerly of EMG, Castle. One of the more recent success stories is Castle. UltraLing's been around a long time, always been a good player. Castle, though, is one of those players, probably a group of maybe 5 to 10 players, who over the last, I would say, 5-6 years, came in and were, you know, they were okay. But I think when I first heard of Castle, he was like a kind of maybe a little bit above CPL level, but kind of like that old iCup C+ range. And then improved a decent amount from there. Never ascended to, you know, the top tier of foreigners, but one of those players that did jump the gap that almost everybody gets stuck at. You know, lots of people come in, play, they get up to what used to be like IC Cup C-, C, which I would say is probably like 1800 maybe MMR, 1800 MMR. But a lot of players get stuck there, and then to make that next jump up from like 1.8K to 2.1K, that's a jump that not too many make. Castle was one of the ones that was able to make that jump, and we have a 9-pool gas here from UltraLing. So probably 9-pool speed. I mean, you never know. You could see a 9-pool lair, but you don't see 9-pool lair very often at all. But you never know. You never know. And Ending Life saying, yeah, Castle has been as high as 2200 plus, and indeed that would make sense given the qualifying standards for this league. You know, he had to be probably at least 2.1K. So yeah, he jumped up. You know, he probably reached that old iCup B+, maybe even A- level. So you know, making the jump from just kind of experienced StarCraft player to solid foreigner, and that's an achievement. Like I said, very few players actually end up getting across that gap. There really is kind of a filter at 1.7, 1.8K. Like most people I see that play a lot and devote themselves, you know, that play consistently, a lot of them get to 17, 1800. Most people don't get stuck before then, but that 17, 1800 point is kind of like a sticking point for a lot of people. Anyway, we have a single cannon, but that's a little ominous because more lings are being made. We already have 6. And Castle has not sent a probe out, or did it die to one of these lings? I don't know, but this is pretty scary. Lings going in for this round. There are 2 probes here, but there's also a drone coming in to add a little DPS. Cannon is down. Guys, this looks bad, and GG. So, yeah, that was a quick one. A little bit uneventful there. Castle with the oops game. Just got a little too greedy, a little too much blind greed. I can't imagine that. I think he didn't send out a probe, right? I was busy talking about him, but I feel like if he would have sent out a probe and seen 6 lings at that timing, he would have built more than just 1 cannon. He did pull 2, but I don't know, just not quite the right decision making from Castro. So yeah, thanks for following, Bug TV, man. So that one goes quick, and that will take us into our winner's match, which is going to be a ZVZ between Castro and UltraLing. I couldn't remember if either of these players race pick, but of course the replay telling me they do not race pick. So Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand position, we have SolZ Castro. And in the top position, as our red Zerg, we have NRT's UltraLing. Winner of this will head out. This is Castro versus UltraLing. Yeah, that was 2 games. That second game just happened. It was super fast. It was just 9-pull speed, but like Castle didn't scout early, didn't see it. He just went 1 cannon, and 6 lings showed up and surrounded the cannon. And then he realized speed was on the way, so he just said GG. It was like 2-minute, 30-second game. Yeah, it's the classic format, like ASL format, OSL format, MSL format. You know, best of ones, but it's a double elimination. So, match 1, match 2, winners match, losers match, final match. In the way of an Eddy, we have incorrect scouts for both players, but they will turn and correct themselves. Although I guess they would either way, even if they didn't see each other, but they will see each other. So we'll just have to see what we're going to get as far as the builds from both players. We're going to get a 12-something here from Castro, and we are going to get a in-hatch 9 base from UltraLing. Well, let's see here. I feel like 12 hatch is not too bad against 9-9, but Castro is actually going 12 pool, so I don't know as well how that variation plays out. The hatchery and extra ling production is definitely going to kick in a bit later. But is it late enough to be a deciding factor cross-map? I will admit that is a little bit above my pay grade. I don't know how this particular set of builds plays out. I feel like it's going to be close, but I feel like if Castro can buy just a little bit of time, he should be okay. As long as he... I mean, the main key, I guess, for Castro is going to be dealing with the... what should be slightly fast... Actually, no, Castro's link speed will be quicker, so that'll be good. At least Castro won't have a mobility disadvantage, and as long as he's able to set up a good position and trade favorably, he should be able to hold this off, I'm thinking. Particularly given the extra cross-map rush distance and the fact that speed will be kicking in reasonably fast here. Now, if for some reason he doesn't make lings, it's going to be really bad for him. So hatch is done. We should see nothing but lings from UltraLing here. And yeah, drones are going to be taking off gas. That would also be expected. So once the Overlord from Castro gets here, he will know well and true what it is that UltraLing is doing. And our Zergling's popping out here. And Castro setting up an arc back at home. And obviously the name of the game for Castro is just going to be defense. If he defends, he'll be in a good position. He'll have a couple more drones, and he'll have a lair, which is something that UltraLing will not have. Might decide to sunken against this. I don't know. It's going to be a while, though, before he actually knows what he's up against. The first 6 lings are out. And, yep, just ling production from UltraLing. Living right up to his name. Alright, he sees a ling coming out here, and this is good. Castro is going to be going, okay, well, you have a lot of lings on the map. You did something. You did something with 2 hatches. You did something with 2 hatches. I know you're up to something scary. Thanks for following, Point Dev. Alright, so he is going to put down a creep colony. And just the ling spam here from UltraLing. And let's see, now Castro's 2-hatch link production is kicking in. We have about a control group here, but I think we're looking at close to 2 control groups. It's about a control group and 3/4. That makes it a little over 2 control groups here. But he's not making lings from all of his larvae. I don't know, that's a lot of lings, and the sunken is not done. The arc was decent. Now trying to move back here, and it's going to force UltraLing back for the moment. I guess there are enough with the presence of that sunken colony, but now UltraLing or Castro is overextending perhaps a little bit. Remember, he's not making lings with all of his larvae, so he has to be careful. Now he's got ling production going from all those larvae. Now he has finished his lair, but finding money for the spire is going to be a little bit difficult right now. and this is by no means over. We've seen all kinds of ZVZs over the years where the player, right when they go to make the Spire, or right when they go to make the Muta, all of a sudden it all goes bad for them. And that just happens. And hey, Kid July and Ro32, thank you guys for following. For some reason I saw the Overlord there. I thought he'd like somehow done slow drop. I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, no, it's impossible. Alright, so we're moving in here. Sunken taking a lot of hits, but it's kind of getting exposed with none of the Lings fighting. That's not what you want. You do want the Sunken to absorb the hits, but not with the Lings fighting, and it looks like there's enough for Castro to hold right now, but it does cost him a Sunken colony. Now, he still has Lings. He is still producing Lings. He has found enough money to place his Spire. He's still got okay drone saturation, so I would say things are starting to look okay for Castro now. At this point, he really just needs to not mess up, not really cut much in the way of Ling production, and then just get out more. Is in a bit of trouble here. He basically needs Castro to make a mistake, as we have a little bit of a weird pause. Do you guys see a pause on stream? It's like my screen just froze at 5:54. Hopefully it's not going to stay frozen for too long. And thank you for following, but I don't know your name. Okay, well, that was weird. That was a weird pause. I don't know what happened there. It was like the Brood War just froze for like 15 seconds. Did the stream go black, or did it just pause? Because that would actually give me a clue if it was the stream, and it felt like Brood War was pausing, but it was like it froze. It just sat there. Weird. Weird. Alright, so we have a group of Lings here, a group of Lings here. We've got almost 2 groups, though, for Castro, plus 2 Sunkens. Really don't think UltraLing can break this. Again, maybe if Castro holds his production, but here we go. A bunch of Lings running in, and UltraLing is going for the killing blow. But guess what? The Lings are all attacking the Sunkens, which is not you want. Castro takes this in a landslide. Now I think there's too many Lings. It's irreparable. Castro would just eat him on the way back over, and UltraLing says GG. Tries the break, doesn't get the micro, doesn't get anything he needs, and out he goes. I wanted a shout out for my follow. It didn't do the parentheses. Cat Camera Bell, thank you for following. It should have done your whole thing, but unfortunately I think it's Japanese characters I don't recognize. Wait, why is it casted on a different channel? Wait, what do you mean by casted on a different channel? I have no idea what you mean by casted on a different channel. Bassmaster or Bassmat. Bass or Bass? Are they spelled the same? Maybe they are. Hey, Artanis. Oh, it's Chinese. Okay. Okay. That would make sense, though. There are more Chinese Brood War players, probably, than there are Japanese Brood War players. Alright, so that's going to take us into Castle versus TTF. We're going to get some PvT action here on Circuit Breakers yet again. Wait, UltraLing is Flaff? It's all about the bass, or it's all about the bass. Is it all about fishing or not? Alright, here we go. Castle takes on TTF. The loser of this match is out of BSL GosuLeague almost before it even gets started. Big match for both players in the bottom left-hand corner. In the bottom left-hand corner as the White Protoss. So we have Castle. And in the top left-hand corner as the Orange Terran, we have BSL 6 TTF. The B is silent, actually. Nice try, landowner. Nice try. It's Bass, but with a silent B. All right, well, I don't know for sure, but for most Protoss players, PvT is often their crown jewel. So we'll see how Castle is looking here. Oh, okay. So Bassmaster or Bassmaster. Zero casts. The BSL is like 3 tiers. There's the top 20 players in the ladder plus 4 seeds are BSL Pro League. Then the next 32 players is BSL GosuLeague, and then the next 32 is BSL Chobo League. So BSL or Zero does Pro League, the top tier, the absolute top tier foreigners. Holy shit! Okay, he's obviously doing like a 12 next or a 13 next or something like that, because that's a lot of queued probes. But yeah, so BSL does, or Zero does Pro League on his channel, and then GosuLeague and Chobo League get casted individually by casters on their own channels, because Zero does, you know, the full production, the top tier BSL work on his channel with invite casters, so he can do the production, the obsing, and just, you know, make it that top tier professional quality event. Alright, so we're going to have some sort of Nexus first here from Castle. It looks like it's going to be a 14 Nexus or 15 Nexus? Castle, what is going on? What? What? Did he go AFK? 15 Nexus? 500? I mean, like, that's a mistake, obviously. Alright. That was weird. I don't know. That's unusual to see. Into... What on earth is happening? This is some weird stuff. I don't know what to say. Hey, thanks for following Ending Life. Alright, so we're going to have a 15 Nexus with Forge and Gateway follow-up. And a factory starting for TTF. And I can't wait to see how TTF is going to respond to this. Yeah. Yeah. You don't usually see 14 Nexus because obviously everything's a little bit later, so you have slower gateway, slower defense, obviously intending to get around that by placing a cannon. But that would all depend on what TTF is making. Like, if TTF makes like a tank with siege and then like a few marines and some vultures, I feel like that would be pretty nice for just getting rid of a cannon or two if he goes that way for defense. There will be a cannon up. This is like, I want a 14... Oh my god. Well, that's pretty scary. Because the units are going to, like, 2-fact usually is dealt with pretty comfortably by 12 next, especially if you make the double gateways. But this is 14 next. He's already invested in a cannon. He's taken a very late gas. I don't have a good feeling about this. Maybe the timings work out. I mean, this is something that, you know, none of us have really seen. But I have a suspicion a tank is just going to show up here and basically just kind of kill this. He's still in one gate. He's not gonna probably even have goon range by the time this is out. I'm not liking this position here for Castle. TTF seems to be inherently countering what is happening. And thanks for following Kev Sadine and Landowner 555. I did like Lucky Fool's response. Is landowner. Does he own 555 square feet? But Lucky Fool, you really should have upped that. He's a landowner. It's obviously 555 square miles of land that he owns. Like, do you think he's a peasant? Let's be real here. Alright, so we got double tanks coming out with no siege. We are on... Okay, we're going Gateway Explosion and Citadel. Okay, this is like go for DTs really fast to try to defend. Maybe if DTs come out in time, that would do it. That would do it, especially because there's not any mine upgrade. It's going to be 2 facts with siege. That is just going to be a shitload of tanks and marines. And already a bunker going down to fall back to, but guess what? The zealots are going to deny that for sure. So that's going to force a cancel. Hoping to sneak the bunker. Castle saying, no, you can't do that. We're going to go to super fast legs. This is just all over the place. Castle bringing the wild builds. I'm going to be honest, I thought Castle was like a vanilla standard player. But clearly I don't know what I'm talking about because this kind of stuff is all over the place here. We're going 5-gate speed lot off of 15 next with a cannon in PvT. And it might work. I don't know, but actually it might work. It might work. It looks like the leg speed is going to be fast enough, and I feel like 5-gate speed lots are going to crush these slow vultures. Maybe if a few vultures get down there and a few mines can get laid, but there's no mines. It's not like the marine count's that high. There are going to be some vultures, though. If the vultures can bang away at the zealots before the legs get done, we can have some problems. And this is really annoying for Castle because he can't really run in here. And they're very, very clumped, which means the Siege Tank fire is going to be really good. This might still yet go to TTF. Let's see, the Zealots, though, being Zealots and being quite beefy so far. But no, he's going to be forced back. Now he's still going to have 5 gate reinforcements. That's a lot. He's going to pop a few Dragoons in the mix now that there are Vultures. And I still can't tell. I feel like Castle theoretically has now enough units and the speed to handle it, especially since there aren't mines here. How far are those upgrades away? They're a little ways away. Let's see what he can do here with these heavy reinforcements from these gateways. Can he get some of the tanks to fall? But the Vulture target firing is pretty strong, and TTF has figured this out pretty well. And now it's, yeah, too many units lost. And Castle says GG. I honestly feel like that was pretty damn close to working, but it didn't. I mean, had the Vultures not been made and arrived right when they did, and Castle would have been allowed another 15 seconds to just chill and mass Zealots. Like, if he would have been able to run out with like a control group of speed lots, I think he had a pretty good chance to break it. But TTF switched into Vultures at the right time. Just the timing's that razor margin, giving that game to TTF. So unfortunately, Castle makes his exit from BSL GosuLeague, which will take us into our final match between UltraLing, who I guess is also Flaff. NB Flaff is the clan he used to be in. Now he's obviously an NRT. And he'll be playing against TTF. So we're going to get a ZVT to decide the fate of this group. So here we go. Again on Circuit Breaker as the map of choice. Bottom right-hand corner, as our orange Zerg, we have UltraLing. In the top right-hand corner, as the purple Terran, we have TTF. I have you say TTF saying something about best foreigners, Eon Zerg, Eon Zerg, Eon Zerg. I don't know what it's in reference to, though. PR Eon Zerg, TTF. Are you just PR for Eon Zerg? Are you like his hype master? Did El Master? Yeah, El Master got into a fight with his Razor. Not an exciting fight, more of like a oops. Well, that's awkward fight. All right, so we got a few drones coming on out here. No surprises there. We can confirm that there is not going to be a 5 pool from UltraLing. And, oh, what is drone trick? Yeah, okay. As much as I want to see one base overgas ZVT, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I can imagine the fight. I have this bad habit sometimes of just trying to, like, shave dry. It's a bad idea. I'm like, I'm not going to bother, and I'm like, ah, that was a mistake. Alright, so TTF again with the scouting pattern. This time it's going to work out a little better for him, but it was surprisingly he didn't check here. Or is he... No. Like, the whole idea is you check right here. You come down, if you guys don't know this, if you're playing against a Zerg, generally the scouting pattern Circuit Breaker is top down because you're scouting towards closest nat. So you usually come right down, and you can take your SCV and go here and look. And then if the Zerg, if you don't see the Overlord here, you can go scout directly over to the other bases, and it just saves you from having to double scout. But this time, TTF went for the check on the far side, which seems to be his preferred scouting pattern. I guess that supposedly works too, but not getting the lucky draws with his scouting, to say the least. And what do we have going on here with the geyser? No gas yet, no surprises there. And alright, so some either 2-hatch or 2.5-hatch style play from UltraLing, and TTF now in the base. He's like, okay, I can see the Zerg, I can see what's happening. Oh, you know what? I just realized what TTF is doing with the scouting pattern. I guess the idea here, why he's scouting to this base, is he's like, well, if Zerg is here or here, he's sending his Overlord this way. So he checks here, and if he sees no Overlord, then he's like, oh, Zerg is going to be over here. So it works great, except when it doesn't, which is to say when Zerg sends his Overlord in a non-standard direction. Alright, Peppa Pia, thanks for following. And we got some metabolic speed coming up here from UltraLing. So, Lings. Similar to what Castro did, but Castro did it off 3-hatch. Bunkers going down appropriately for TTF. He'll need to, of course, be careful of that ramp. And it is a wide ramp on Circuit Breaker, so a little bit harder to block. Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, probably everyone in this chat is like 3,000 MMR. Alright, so let's see what's going on here. We got a few Zerglings coming on up. Bunker there. We got an SCV Marine is going to go inside the bunker. These Lings are going to do absolutely nothing. The bunker is very nicely positioned, covering the ramp, covering the CC. Maybe not quite covering the distal mineral patches, but pretty good overall. Ling speed about to finish. Have we started to layer in the natural to be sneaky? Oh, yes, we have. And we are going to go 2-hatch lurk. Now, he just needs to prevent the SCV from going into the natural, and with speed done, he will be able to do that, so I like the hiding. Good plays here from UltraLing in terms of the deception, keeping things hidden. Smartly strategizing what he's up to. So TTF is going to be very in the dark. And remember, there's Ling speed out, so in no time and nowhere is TTF going to be leaving his base anytime soon, and he is opting not to go bio this game. He is going to be going into 2-factory play, or into mech play, or factory play, or whatever. I guess calling it 2-factory play is not really what it is, because that implies a 1-base build. And I have no idea how this plays out against 2-hatch lurk. I don't think I've ever seen a game that I can remember like that. He's going vultures to start with. Now, if he can lay some mines, obviously that'll be pretty powerful. But he's going to need more than one bunker, particularly a bunker that is not out in front of his CC. And he's going to need to find this pretty damn soon, or he's going to be in some deep trouble. And of course, he's going to need a turret. He's getting up an armory. Is he going to be able to hold this? I am not feeling super great about this right now. Although, no second gas here for UltraLing, so economy is going to be... Or not the economy, the amount of gas is going to be pretty low. Okay, we are getting a second bunk, but there's going to be this problem here where the lurkers can come in here, easily burrow through here, and at least this bunk can fall, and it'll completely shut down the natural. Although, if that's all UltraLing can do, not the end of the world from TTF. He'll lift the command center, he'll save it, and UltraLing is sitting back here with about 10 drones. Whereas TTF, actually TTF has not been ecoing very hard at all. He's barely got 1 per patch, but he's still got more here. It'll depend on, at that point, I didn't realize his economy was, he's got 4 off here. Okay, he's got a good number of SCVs. So really, as long as he can pull his SCVs and hold even down here, if he has to lift his natural and gets the natural busted, won't be the end of the world for him. We've got some mech coming out, we've got mines. That's going to be really helpful if those mines can get laid before these lurkers finish, but that is looking like a negative. He is going to get a turret up, though. That's a very big deal. Now, he doesn't have any scanners, though, so if a lurker gets into the main, he can try to lay mines to get rid of it, but it's going to have the potential to do quite a lot of damage here. And now UltraLing is setting up here for his bust. Let's see how the execution is. He gets the Lings out of the way. The lurkers burrowing straight on top of those bunkers, but that is some hella anti-Ling SimCity. And I don't feel like the lurkers can get very close to these bunkers. One's going to fall. The other will eventually fall. And there's actually are still more Lings than I expected. He's target firing the tank. A nice choice there from UltraLing. Gets the snipe on that, but the bunker is being repaired. And will it be able to hold this all in? No, not quite. There are 2 lurkers left. A lot of SCVs perishing, but guess what? There is a tank out, but the turret, he needs to save the turret. Can he do it? I don't know. I think the lurkers might break up into the main here. The turret's going to fall, but actually there are comsats with scans and waiting vultures here. No more flood of Lings. Is there a transition out of this? No, actually it is going to be more Lings, but there is a 3rd hatchery being placed. And unfortunately, or for better or worse, TTF lost a lot of SCVs in that. I don't know what... Okay, he's laying mines at the front. That's fine. The tank needs to just chill here, though. Laying mines to counter any more lurkers or Lings coming in. Vulture's forcing that lurker to burrow. Doing what he needs to do. Needs to be careful, though. No point of laying mines in range of lurker fire. And wonderful Ling there from UltraLing. Sweeps out all of the mines. Pressure continuing here. No switch into drones. We're going to follow up with more Hydra, more lurk. This getting picked off. There's still just the one tank being repaired. The economy for TTF is really bad. I feel like the bust from UltraLing, since it was able to kill all the SCVs at the natural, has done its job here. And now it's just UltraLing going for the jugular here. He wants the kill, trying to split Lings up. He's doing a very nice job. I'm liking the control. The execution right now from UltraLing has been quite good. TTF making good decisions of his own as well, but so far UltraLing kind of getting the better of this exchange. He's going to need to lift this CC here pretty soon. He doesn't want to because of this scanner, but you know what? The ComSat is targeted fire down. He should... Oh my god! The tanks don't die, which is huge, but they need to be repaired again, and that is just absolutely savaging his economy. I hope he's going to lift the CC at some point here. Okay, finally we are going to get the lift off on the CC, and the Vultures need to lay some serious mines and not go into the... He's trying to lay mines in between? Oh, he's trying to get Vultures on the map to harass. Can he get some to the base? They're kind of... Ah, that was quite a butterfingery Vulture, though. Nice and slippery, all buttered up. And oh my god, UltraLing. Like, one Vulture can be a serious deal here. The economy's not that great. Let's see. I mean, if there was 3, it would have been so fantastic because he would have killed like half the economy. But at just 2, but TTF is microing the Vulture and his tank goes into stupidity because it's rallied to the wrong point. That's a pretty big blunder by TTF because these tanks are very valuable. Oh my god. Okay, the mine, I thought the tank was going to die. But does kill a few SCVs. And we're getting Goliath range over siege mode? Or does he just not want to siege because Lings are running in and he's only got a few tanks? That is also a possibility. Keeps running out of scans here, having a very hard time clearing these lurkers. And I don't know what is prompting the Goliath range. This is bizarre. Is the hotkey for range near the hotkey for tank? I don't play Terran, so I always just click the upgrade. I can't think of why he would want Goliath range, why he would be anticipating a transition to mutas when lurkers keep pouring in and he knows there's not even a second gas taken because his Vulture's gone in there. Very strange upgrade choice here from TTF. I feel like siege would probably serve him better. I mean, I can understand why he doesn't maybe want to siege up, but man, UltraLing just continuing to push in here. And remember, the economy from TTF took a big hit. The one thing I will say, though, is UltraLing... Actually, no, UltraLing has added... Okay, he's finally added a few drones, which is something he probably wanted to do because it looks like TTF is going to be able to hold, but oh my god, a tremendous number of Lings coming in here at just the wrong moment, or just the right moment if you are UltraLing, but most of them do die, and but it does force another burn on the scan, and now a bunch of Vultures trying to slip out past... And can he get past them? No, the lurkers and Lings are burrowing in a perfect spot, and the Vulture's just evaporating. TTF gets nothing out of those Vultures, 6 or 7 dying, and that leaves him pinned in the base. A glorious defense there by UltraLing, and now the factories have to be repositioned. I mean, he does have this CC still alive. If he could somehow retake his natural, it would be great, but there's 3 hatches, and it just doesn't seem like TTF can establish that natural at this point. He keeps trying to lay mines that continually are being denied by these 2 lurkers that are just infinitely camping this ramp. And he keeps trying to sneak out Vultures, but unfortunately there's this part where they straighten out, and the double lurker spines are enough to finish them off. He's going to land this to get a second ComSat. He probably should have done that sooner. I do like the thinking, though. That's very smart. A big part of his problem has just been he doesn't have enough ComSats to kill these damn lurkers. He's got the units to kill them, but he doesn't have the scans to get rid of them. And this lurker's just like, I'm taking a break, boys. Just chilling over here. Drank a little too much the other morning. Okay, the Goliath is going to... Or, the Overlord's going to go down. I don't really think that was worth it to get range, though. We got a few Vultures coming out, and it's a good time because another flood of Lings running in. He's going for the surround on the Goliath, and he gets 1 Goliath. But it's going to be enough to force these Lings back. But again, now this is getting delayed for so long that UltraLing has had quite a bit of time now to eco up, and now there's actually a bit of an economy for UltraLing, and ominously a second gas and a spire. And I say that's ominous because Goliaths are not... TTF, please. TTF. TTF. Come on. Come on. Come on. This is a critical moment. I realize every time TTF's Vultures go out, a tank wants to go suicide. Probably should hold position those bad boys or something. Alright, so we do have some Vultures sneaking in. Can we get a few drones? He needs quite a few to equalize, and nope, the Lings are already here. He's got 3, 4. That's actually not bad. 5. Can we get a 6? 6? Yes, 6 drones. Okay, that's a decent number of drone kills. That is significant at this stage of the game. TTF fighting for his life, but he just cannot clear his natural. Will he ever be able to do it? It is still up in the air. That was a big setback, though. That might cause another pause in unit production. No, actually, we're going to have the Muta transition. And can he hold? Ugh, there's a... Oh, my God. He's making Goliath now, though. He did see the second gas. He did see the Spire. More Vultures trying to slip out, but the Muta will... Okay, one's going to slip out. There's not much at home, though. Is it possible this would force the Muta to turn around? Maybe. He's running in. There's that... Okay, he's repaired it. Oh, my God. What a critical moment. If he can get 3 out with that turret, it's probably enough to defend. Repair's pretty good. The Muta going for the turret. Can they get it? No, Repair is too strong. So this is a pretty good hold, but unfortunately, Goliath spawning in a very unfortunate position here. But it is enough to hold on, and what a defensive struggle here for TTF. Muta are going in, trying to camp the Goliaths, but it's definitely costing a lot of damage on those Muta. Goliaths counter Muta pretty well, but they don't kill them very fast. Now this Vulture is going to sneak around the outside, and somehow TTF slips a Vulture through all of this. Some of these Vultures have been pretty buttery thingamajigger. I don't particularly love TTF's position, but it's one of those cases where if he can just keep holding, you know, it's not like finally we see a siege. Finally we see a siege. And of course now finally the Goliath range is paying off. Oops, an Overlord mistake there. And it's one of those situations where sometimes Zerg can be super aggressive, and then all of a sudden their aggression fizzles out. Terran takes 2 bases, and it's like, oh, hello. And I honestly feel like if he does somehow stabilize and come out of this, I feel like a huge part of that is going to have to go to those Hero 3 Vultures that killed 6 drones. Because that's a lot of drones when you have this economy. You know, and if UltraLing had built up a burgeoning economy behind this and had a nice 30 or 35 drones, then I'd say TTF is pretty screwed. But right now, if he can retake his natural, which looks like he's going to be able to, if he positions... Oh my god, yeah, okay. If he positions smartly here, he can definitely get his natural back, and UltraLing could be in some trouble. Could be in some trouble, particularly if he commits to this and doesn't get anything out of it. And he is definitely committing. Muta are going to run straight into... Oh, fuck. This is going to be bad. This is going to be bad, as long as there's a scan. Huge mistake being made here, although the tanks were not sieged up. I guess that was a good decision to unsiege them. But he's going to get out. He's going to get out. He's going to burrow to kill 1 SCV. He's trying to spread them out away from scans. Or is he out of scan again? Oh, my gosh. Scanner being added over here. No Lings coming up to reinforce this, and yeah, I think TTF has been defending for so long that he's going to come down here and actually be in an okay position thanks to Hero Volts. He's got a second scan, he's going to clear the Lurkers, and about 10 minutes later, TTF finally retakes his natural, just starts to mine from the natural again at the 16-minute mark. And the economy is, of course, lean for both players, but TTF has had a decent amount of time to re-SCV up, and now TTF is in a very good position. There's no bustability anymore. The unit composition, it's not like there's one imminent attack, so I think it's just TTF ecos up, and UltraLing's in deep shit. Ah, he gets one of the Valkyries up. That's nice. Will TTF keep making any Valks? Great decision to make those Valkyries. And unfortunately, the overcommit for UltraLing was kind of the last straw here that now has really tilted this game back into TTF's favor, and now UltraLing has to switch into macro. He can't just spam units off 3 hatcheries, or he will get absolutely steamrolled. But TTF is clearly in a much better economic position, and UltraLing needs to make something happen with the Muta, kill a lot of SCVs. He needs to have something go his way, or this is just not going to be good. But of course, there's Valks. We're going to go into a dropship with Vultures. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Muta looking for a tank snipe, or maybe 2 tank snipes? No one. Oh, no. Ah! He does get the tank snipe, but that costs quite a bit. Anti-vulture? I don't know about that, Sunken. I feel like you don't want to waste drones right now. It's not going to help you defend the mech. It's got to be anti-vulture. But, yeah, I don't know. Dropship should be somewhere. Ish. Ah, there we go. I was like, it's got to be around the map. Where is it? Here we go. Dropship coming on in. And out of position, but there are Hydras. It's not noticed. He's busy looking at something else. Oh, no, no, no! Ah! Okay, we're getting a few mines down, but the Lings are going to clear that pretty quickly. 1 drone. Make that 2 drones. Make that 3 drones. Oh my god, this is probably, well, super nail in the coffin. It was looking bad. Now it's looking hopeless because that is like all of his economy. He's going to get every single... Oh, come on, TTF. No! I was getting ready to say every single drone in the main. Thanks, TTF. Thanks. Alright, he gets all but 1 drone in the main. And reducing UltraLing down to like 10 drones. Okay, he's got like 13, 14 drones. 14 drones against a 2-base meching Terran, and all he's got is a few Muta and some Zerglings and 3 hatcheries. It's pretty bad right now for UltraLing. TTF is going to need a blunder here, UltraLing is going to need a blunder from TTF if he wants to get back into this game. But I don't see that blunder happening. There's even a vessel now. Obviously scans are not going to be an issue. Now he is trying to establish this 3rd base, but he doesn't really have the economy to spam Hydras. He needs to do something, like I said, something amazing with these mutas. TTF actually just wants a 3rd base here. Command center suffering some harassment, some harassment, and the Valkyrie getting off a nice shot, but almost in danger of being picked off. No Scourge there to assist with that pickoff, though. Factory count just now starting to rise. Maybe that's the one saving grace if we're looking for silver linings here for UltraLing, is that the factory count is only on 3 here for TTF. And it looks like TTF getting ready to move out here. Or maybe he's just positioning to take his 3rd. He does have that 3rd command center. Oh, be careful. Oh, okay, well, there's the start of... That's the start of how comebacks happen. That's the start. He suicides his vessel and his Valkyrie there to the Scourge, getting way too far in front of him. And a 3rd base going up. And we're going into... That's not something you see very often. Very interesting choice here from UltraLing to go fast Hive as a antidote to this mech play here from TTF, particularly to 2-base mech pressure. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I still don't think UltraLing can live, but at least there's no vessels. At least there's no vessels. And TTF thinks better of it, and then spins back around. I don't know what that was about. Perhaps just trying to bait a counter, moving around a little bit of army movement. Just, you know, if you're going to counter, I'll stay close to home, kind of make you think I'm going to attack, and make you consider we're going to have Muta counter. But he has wisely, I guess you could say, kept some Goliaths back at home. That choice will pay off. 2 turrets also. That'll buy plenty of time for these Goliaths to scramble back into position. Muta are going to intercept a few SCVs, but the army of TTF is now the natural scan goes down. Oh, this vessel coming in, totally snipeable, but it looks like he will save it for the moment. We do still have a few Scourge over here. Mutalisk trying to get some harass done, but I guarantee you most of UltraLing's attention is going to be occupied here at home. And he's now choked off in his natural with slow Hydra, and I just don't see any way he's going to be able to stop this army. And he just hasn't gotten any mileage out of the Muta. But those vultures coming in and killing off those drones, particularly the first wave. The second wave was nail in the coffin, but the first wave was really what put TTF back in this game, and these Lings just instantly falling, and I just don't see a way for him to stop this. He doesn't have any units. Defilers aren't there, and there it is. UltraLing leaves the game. TTF gets it done in the end and punches his ticket, so congrats to Castro and TTF for escaping Group E. We'll see them in the round of 16. Abby, is there something in your life that you actually like? Abby, when are you up? You better play like J-Dong, says I'm Jiraiya. Yeah, that was pretty well handled from TTF. Only thing that was weird, there was some weird moments there. If he would have landed his command center a little bit sooner, taken his natural faster, but I still think had those drones not died, those initial 6 drones, I feel like TTF probably would have lost because not Castro, shit, Zerg boy, UltraLing was getting into a pretty good economic position. TTF was on like 11, 12 SCVs. There were quite a few more drones. I think he could have just kind of started ecoing up, but then those vultures got in and killed 6 drones, forced to rebuild, bought some time, etc., etc. And now we go into our next match, where we are going to have, this is Group F, we're going to have Ultra, not UltraLing, Ultra, versus Kingtoss. It's going to be a TVP on In the Way of an Eddy as our match number 1. Alright, let's do it. Spawning in the top right-hand position as our teal Terran, we have Soul T Ultra. And in the top left-hand position as our purple Protoss, we have Kingtoss. And I don't know too much about Ultra. I thought he picked races or something like that, but I guess not. I guess not. So, I don't know. We'll see how his TVP is. That can obviously be a common weak spot for Terrans. And we'll see what Kingtoss does. I mean, you know, I don't know Kingtoss unless he's on an AKA that I don't recognize. But Ultra is certainly a no-name, a strong player. He's been A- before. So I would be inclined to say Ultra on paper is going to be the favored player. Kingtoss obviously knows some Spanish. So we might see, that means there's a good chance we'll see aggression here from Kingtoss. And that is usually the most difficult thing that Terrans struggle with, is dealing with early Protoss, as some Terrans would call it, early Protoss bullshit. So we'll see if Kingtoss has anything special cooked up, or if we're just going to see kind of a one gate into Nexus. It's a pretty damn early scouting probe, to be perfectly honest. That was a pylon scout, I believe. So he's getting out there on the map. Not early enough to gas steal or anything like that, though. If you want gas steal, it's usually better on two-player map, but you gotta go pretty early if you want to get in there and try to steal that gas. And of course, it's a reverse ramp map, so it's extra susceptible to aggression. Heavy goon pressure. You know, you basically, if you see two gates, especially 10-15, you almost have to build a bunker up here to defend, and then there you get into that. And of course, reverse ramp map. You got to be careful with where your Marines are sitting. If you sit them below the ramp, then the Zealots are just going to be a little bit more annoying. They come in from the dark. So definitely some challenges for Terran in the early game on this map. Got a Cybercore on the way. Not cutting probe, so definitely not going to be a 10-15. We're going to get our factory right on up. And confidently went factory before first Marine here, so Ultra obviously feels confident in the turn rate slash his micro slash the combination of both. Got a Dragoon on the way. And the SCV just doing a little bit of a dance here. Going right into gun range. Is it just going to be a one-gate opener? It kind of looks like it, actually. Kind of looks like it. Could always throw down another gate, but I don't think that's going to happen. SCV is going to get chased out now. Or are we going to pause here and make a gateway? Minerals going up with no Dragoon started. Okay, another Dragoon does start. Just a little brief pause there in that Dragoon production. Oh, can we sneak around? I don't think we can. I think he wants to try, though. Oh, okay. We are paying attention to the probe. Is Kingtoss. So it does back out of there. Little kiss. Yeah, it gets a little kiss on the SCV. Showing a little love. I wouldn't call it a whole lot of love, but a little bit of love. Uh-oh. Well, now Kingtoss has a moment of inattentivity, and so that probe falls, and that's... I don't know, as someone who's played Protoss, I never like that feeling. I like knowing when Terran moves out and they're coming towards my base with that probe, so... But he does have a Dragoon coming across the map, so that'll kind of help resolve that issue. Ultra has a tank on the way. Mines, we're just seeing a standard FD here. He's gone ahead and put his 3 back on gas, though, which is interesting, so maybe I spoke too soon. No, he's got a Vulture queued up. It's definitely just a regular FD. We're going to get expansion, second gateway. Pretty normal here from Kingtoss. And then we'll see how much pressure Ultra decides to put on here with this FD. Oh yeah, we do have Cryoc in this league. We're coming up to that. It'll be good to see Cryoc play. One of the better, just standard Terrans out there. Not quite that top flight of Terrans, but very good. Oh no! Ultra is going for the click, but then Kingtoss kind of paused too long. But he has softened up these Marines a ton. Has not been able to get on top of the tank, and is going to force this back. Now, will he go for the tank snipe? There's a Vulture coming across. Oh no! The Vulture is blocking the tank. Will it allow the snipe to go down? Yeah, the Vulture actually screws over the... No. Oh. Yeah, we saw that coming. Still probably worth it to kill the tank, especially since no Vulture slipped in. But yeah, unfortunately, the Vulture totally cock blocking that tank. It's like, no, you can't run away. No, absolutely not. And I don't know what this is. An attempt to get a Vulture through. A very... Oh, wow, SCV, holy, okay. Oh, okay. Hero fucking probe. I'm pretty sure that probe killed that mine. This game is full of funny things. We've got probes being straight up mine assassins. Okay, take it easy. Take it easy, Kingtoss. Vultures blocking their own tanks. SCV getting a Dragoon kill. Probes killing mines. Workers are just like motivated. Motivated. And now we got a nice little block here. Third gateway, obs. So pretty standard for both players in all honesty. No major surprises. Vulture's gonna be annoying. Shoot at this pylon from the high ground. Actually, can it see the citadel? I should be able to. Oh yeah. Okay. So that is a cute little scout there. Incidentally, I would maybe say Kingtoss should be a little more careful with his placement of that citadel. Comstats are about to be up though, and the base will get scanned. But it'll allow him to place the scans perhaps over here, rather than having to worry about anything on the edges. And I thought he was going to put the Dragoon there to shoot the Vulture, but that has not occurred. And that is a very fast second gas there for Ultra. Are we going to see some sort of timing? No, never mind. There's already an armory upgrading. Very far into its upgrade, so possibly 2 base 2-1? Because usually I believe that armor upgrade starts around 6 minutes, and this is about halfway, so this probably started at about 6 minutes. And a few Goliaths being produced here. And of course the challenge to 2 base 2-1 is that you really want these fast armories, so there definitely is a little bit I need to defend carefully in the early game dealing with it, but then you get that really powerful sort of 11:30 timing attack. You got 150 supply. It's just a scary army coming out with 2-1 upgrades at a good time, but it's not going to be that. We do see a command centers being laid down, and Ultra obviously feeling very confident in what he's scouted because he is out just completely exposed with about 3 tanks, 2 Goliaths, no real mines. Obviously not scared of Kingtoss at all. Honestly, this feels a little bit ballsy from Ultra, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I feel like it's ballsy. No mines, no defense, no buildings, 3 tanks. Just gonna hold his base? I'm not convinced. I'm especially not convinced, although there is some hope here. Okie dokie. Someone's feeling the nerves a little bit. Feeling the nerves? He's like, oh, I'm on the big stage. I'm on the big stage, going up against Ultra. But Protoss is a pretty good race, so he might just kill Ultra here. It's not that many Dragoons, though. Like, if the shuttle gets sniped, this is going to be just comically owned. But if the Zealots get dropped, and there's reinforcing Zealots, which there should be in... What? Zealots? No? Not Zealots? Okay, well, Yeah, there's definitely some pressure getting to him here. These gateways are going freaking crazy. We got some mass queuing going on. There's actually getting to be a lot of tanks. This is probably actually not going to work. Although the shuttle does sneak in here, but these goons are really badly clumped, and he didn't like reinforce with speed lots, and I think this just got more or less owned. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I don't think he kills him now. I definitely think he could have killed him, but I don't really know what was happening. Like, he just GG's. Okay. That was a pretty anticlimactic ending. That was a pretty anticlimactic ending. Like, Kingtoss did a pretty good job, and then all of a sudden it was like he just got nervous as shit and, like, fell to pieces. But he had 5 gates. Like, if he would have had a few more Dragoons out and just come with that shuttle, gotten the bomb off, and then been reinforcing with, what do you call it? Reinforcing with speed lots from, like, 5 or 6 gateways? Nah, it could have been problematic. Like, I don't feel like what Ultra did was especially safe. Now, we have no match 2, so obviously somebody no-showed. And the person that no-showed was not Cryoc. It was whoever Cryoc was supposed to play. So now we go into the winner's match, which is going to be Ultra versus Cryoc, Neo Sylphid, and of course Ultra does not race pick. I was completely wrong. This is a TVT between Cryoc and Ultra. And this is from replays, yes. So, spawning in the bottom left-hand position as our yellow Terran, we have Ultra. And on the right side, as our blue Terran, we have IFU's Cryoc. Could have sworn you could make the colors like red and blue on replays, but obviously I don't know how to do it or whatnot. If you need more organs, I can sell you cheap. I'm raising money. At least you embrace it, Art Neon. At least you embrace it. It's pretty funny. Oh boy, a TBT. Hey, TBTs are good, guys. Let's not hate. Okay, I will admittedly rephrase that. Some TBTs are good. Let me correct myself. All right, so we're getting a supply depot. Elmaster is actually a 90-year-old man from decades ago with updated graphics. Like, someone just found these replays in an archive from like 20 years ago when I casted as a 70-year-old. Yeah, that face that I put up on stream when I have it, it's not actually those. Those are actually just, you know, I just got like some 25-year-old boy off the street. And I just recorded like hours of him like looking at the camera and saying things. And I just like have an endless video feed that I hook up, but it's like 20 hours of video, so it's not just like, you know, it's not predictable. It's a pretty elaborate setup to disguise my 70-year-oldness. And then of course, you know, I have to take the aging sounds out of my voice, so I like run it through some mad synthesizers, but it's like really, really high quality filtering. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. AviLove, you guys should be thankful the Zerg player that no-showed is the reason you're watching this highly enjoyable TVT. We'll see if it's a highly enjoyable TVT. Alright, we got 3 on gas. We got 3 on gas. Everything looking normal. Oh, SCV's headed to the same location. Does anybody see? Does anybody? Okay, Cryoc sees. Ultra! Okay, well, the SCV was coming down. So no, Ultra could have seen that. Ultra could have seen that. Slight inattentivity there from Ultra. A factory from both players. AviLove, no comment. I plead the 5th. I plead the 5th. Alright, we got 1 on gas. We got 3 on gas still here from Ultra. Okay, so Vulture opening from Cryoc. And I don't know what from Ultra. Perhaps a port? Perhaps 2 ports? Perhaps 2 factories? But it feels like it's going to be something. He's got a lot of gas right now. And he's still not taking any guys. Is it going to be second factory? Or is it going to be a starport? The big reveal is 2 factory from Ultra. So Cryoc is put in the position of defender against the 2 factory play here from Ultra. And now the only question is, what variant of 2-fact will it be? He's still keeping 3 on gas, so I'm thinking there's going to be some, perhaps, siege in this. I wouldn't think you would still need to keep 3 on gas if you were just going to spam vultures with speed and mines, particularly not at the 200 gas threshold. But let's just wait and see what he's going to make out of these factories, and we'll go from there. Okay, well, it's going to be a tank, but there's also going to be a mine upgrade. Meanwhile, expansion, machine shop, second factory here from Cryoc. Wow, AviLove, really? Because that would mean Cadenzi is so notorious. She's playing in 2 groups. We watched her play in a previous group, and she might be playing also in this group as well, which would be quite impressive. Ending life. Saying Cryoc is more than used to defending, so I think that comment means something about Cryoc's style of play. And mine's about to finish, and indeed we are going to switch into some vultures. But what will the next upgrade? Okay, it is going to be just vulture upgrades, but he did want to make at least a single tank in there. Perhaps as a little bit of sort of aggression soaking power, and then try to clear out the vultures and then flood with his own. It's an interesting idea. Let's see how the execution is here from Ultra. Here begins the defense. Let's see if, as Ending Life comments on, let's see if Cryoc can put that defending to work. And Cryoc's certainly getting a lot of initial hits here. And he's going to pick off, he's actually target firing the vultures first and wants a little bit of breathing room for his mines, and that will zone the tank right out. So the mines are laid and the tank forced back here. Cryoc pulling a bunch of SCVs to hold this off, and so far it looks like he's held it reasonably well. That's a lot of mines, and as long as Cryoc doesn't overextend, remember Cryoc actually has 2 factory production now. He doesn't have speed on his vultures, but he's got numbers. So Ultra can't bust in here, and Cryoc has zoned the tank out. I really like the way Cryoc played this very heads-up, savvy play. Certainly not something I would have thought of, but now having seen it, it makes perfect sense. He's like, well, as long as I push him back, lay some mines, the tank can't do anything. It's no longer a problem. I have numbers, and this ought to be well defended here for Cryoc. The only thing Ultra can do now is fall back into expansion as he's doing and try to set up a position here with his tank and his unit count. He is not working on a siege upgrade yet, though, so he can't actually siege up and do that. Cryoc's going to get a little repair on those vultures. He's going to go into a starport. Not a bad option there. That will definitely chase the rest of this away. Siege does start, and Cryoc is just going to charge at this, trying to pick off a vulture. The tank is going to soak a lot of damage. Well, now maybe Cryoc can charge in there. We have 7 vultures? 6 vultures? 7 vultures. Versus 6 for Cryoc, so not quite enough. Not quite enough. We're about to have a second tank, though. We have 2 SCVs coming over here to repair, so Ultra definitely does want to hold this position, and Cryoc needs to back the... or just do that. That works, too. And we got a little repair on that tank, but Cryoc is cleaning out the vulture count here, and it's going to be Cryoc with a few vultures left over, and a second tank is almost out. Mines being laid, continuing to try to force this back, but unable to get that mine down. And first siege does go to Ultra, but remember, Cryoc over here starts a Wraith. And landing the barracks here, just being obnoxious. Not quite able to block off pathing, and be super annoying, forcing units through the mineral lines. And Ultra decides that he doesn't like his tank siege there. He would rather have it down here. I don't know why. Oh, okay, I do know why. Now that Ultra has shown us why. He's going to harass a few of those mineral patches, going to force a transfer away from Cryoc, elegantly leaving just a few at the bottom patches that can continue to mine uninterrupted. Uh-oh. Okay, he does pull that tank back to safety. Wraith out, second Wraith on the way, and a little bit of Vulture harass trying to sneak out. That is denied, though. And no armory, so there's absolutely no answer to this Wraith. It's just going to be go-home tanks. He's actually just going to kill the spotter barracks first, though. A few more Vultures being rallied down here. And Ultra's going to move in further. That is an interesting choice, but Cryoc does need to reposition his units. You can see siege is done, so Cryoc will be able to siege up here in a sec if he wants to. I guess he's hoping that he can just out-repair the Wraith DPS and continue harassing the bottom patch of the minerals / the CC. But now the Wraith free to bang away on this. Cryoc sieging up. Vulture's going to come in, try to lay some mines, disrupt these, but now we got 2 Wraiths banging away. Definitely can't keep the tank alive, but quite a few tank kills as a result of those Vultures. Cryoc sieging a little bit of a vulnerable spot. SCV's trying to do some repair work, and it is going okay, but they are going to eventually die. They can't repair each other long enough. Probably a 3rd Wraith on the way for Cryoc. Maybe it's already out. I don't know. No, it looks like he paused Wraith production. And now Ultra is going to have to pick up and run home. And going to lose a few more tanks. At least one more, especially with no Goliath out yet. We are getting range. Still going to be a while before we get a Goliath. So that's going to even out the number of tank kills, and Cryoc, I think, is going to like his position. He's got 4 facts to Ultra's 2. It looks like his economy is quite a bit more robust as well. There's probably most of the supply difference here, and that does not bode well for the future of Ultra, and Ultra is, of course, being forced to siege all the way back at home, and he's probably going to lose. He's going to lose one more tank. He probably won't lose another tank, especially because it's not like there's Cloak or anything like that out. Cryoc needs to rally his factories, and Ultra's going to try to get back into this by taking a very, very fast 3rd base. Not a bad idea. I mean, if you're behind, you got to do something to get back into it. If you just sit back and macro when you're already behind, it's not usually the best choice. You'll just continue to get further behind. And Ultra also apparently has enough money to throw up 5 facts. I'm a little bit unsure about that. Wraith's trying to pick off a few SCVs in the main, but they're not able to do much. And of course, they did see that Ultra was going to 5 facts, and that might prevent Cryoc from looking and being suspicious of this base, but we can see that Cryoc has responded with an expo of his own at about the same time. So, all things considered, it's not really an advantage anymore for Ultra. Now, Ultra did get that armory out fairly quickly. Actually, Cryoc, let's take a look at the +1s. Pretty similar. Perhaps there could be a tiny, tiny window for 1-2-1 attack from Ultra. I don't know if we'll actually see that happen, though. Barracks is going to go ahead and get ranged down by these Goliaths. Right? Yep, it's going to fall. Is he willing? Yeah, he's willing to stack a Goliath to get it. So that's going to cap Cryoc's factories momentarily at 4. A 1 fact advantage here for Ultra, and a massive transfer heading out towards the 3rd base. Still plenty of SCVs in the main, though. But will the Vultures? The Vultures are hungry. Hungry Vultures. Gonna need to transfer something up there. It's just 1 Vulture, so... Oh, okay, now all of a sudden it's bad. Bad news, Bears. Cryoc getting a wonderful intercept off here. And this means that Ultra is going to be scrambling here. But Cryoc's going to eat half the SCVs, maybe more than that. We've already seen 5 or 6 go down, and possibly even more. It looks like 12 transferred, only 4 made out alive, and that was not good. So, yeah, that was pretty bad from Ultra. Cryoc now was in a good position. Now he's in a very good position. He's got his own 3rd base up and mining, immediately grabbing that gas. Now these 3rd bases are a little bit skimpy here compared to this one, a little bit more robust. Just a couple thousand more minerals over here. I don't know if there's actually a difference in the amount of gas in each one. But finally Ultra able to get some Vultures over here. But the damage has been done in that regards. And of course the 3rd base getting, not only did SCVs die, but no SCVs are mining from this base for quite a long time. So Cryoc absolutely punishing that attempt at sort of a greedy 3rd. Vulture does get in here, and immediate SCV pull from Cryoc, and then force back. So Cryoc handling this pretty well. Some Vultures going to start to sneak around here for Ultra. In fact, quite a few. And Cryoc responding by moving some tanks. Okay. Well, he knows where all these Vultures are. I don't know where these tanks are going, though. Apparently, they're going to set up a siege line over here. I don't know. Okay. Can 12 Vultures come in and kill 4 tanks? Maybe. I don't know. Not a TVT expert. Interesting choice. No continued upgrade here, but Ultra is going to go, unless there's a second armory, Ultra is going to go armor before second attack. I don't think you're supposed to do that, but Cryoc, despite having, I thought Yeah, he has a science facility. He has not started his upgrade yet. And now Ultra is going to move into position here towards the top side of the map, and it looks like both players are just going to go into sprawling eco here. Cryoc kind of taking the right-hand side, Ultra sort of taking the top side of the map. And we have a double drop from Cryoc down here. Mines are still at this base. And in comes very, very little from Ultra as we have another random stream pause. Random stream pause. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming you guys can hear me while this happens, but I think it's unpaused now, so hopefully we won't have any problems. We can see the drop unloading here, and units are very out of position, but in the meantime, Ultra is trying to break up the position for Cryoc, and he has sent enough around that he is able to annihilate that position, and Cryoc needs to get some stuff sieged up over here because there's a lot of tanks coming in, but at the same time, depots and upgrades and stuff like that falling in the main. Cryoc trying to use this high ground, but again, it's not actually high ground. And Cryoc is losing a lot of units down here. He definitely needs to lift his third and get away with those SCVs. But it looks like, well, no, actually there's quite a few more tanks, and now they're about to take the high ground, and all of Cryoc's units are elsewhere on the map. Units being sent back to deal with this, but Ultra is having a pretty hard time. He's much more focused on this attack, moving his tanks forward, and he needs to be careful just how forward he goes. But with the Goliath there, he's actually going to get the kill on the third base, so that is nice. Now, Cryoc tries to reinforce this, and kind of does, but this tank is not going to get sieged up, and a few depots have fallen. Wow, Cryoc is on a depot kick. Holy shit. I just noticed that. Ultra's still able to build units, though, as a lot have been lost. We're now bringing the race over, and the dropships are going to get intercepted, and there's still 2 Goliaths here, so the decision to use the race from Cryoc is great, but with 2 Goliaths, it's not enough, and this dropship needs to find a place to escape. These tanks, though, still down here doing damage, still picking off depots, and then Ultra is supply capped, and Cryoc, in spite of this, might not have enough factories because either that or he's just missing some serious macro here with his third base denied. He has retaken the third base over here, so right now it is Ultra that has the economy but is kind of low on unit production, and it looks like the mines are finally going to clear this drop, but let's face it, that drop, a lot of mileage for both players out of both of their attacks. And as long as Cryoc can drop and clean this up, I think the position is still pretty good for Cryoc, especially since he's going to have these drop ships. And in comes the drop, so that is going to clear it. And trying to target fire down a dropship, unable to get it. And of course, Cryoc still has a third base, so he can immediately transfer SCVs back over. Ultra working on a fourth, just doing something to get those minerals back down. Cryoc still has a little bit better map position. Maybe not. He does still have some tanks over here, but it's not really... I thought some of these were going to be tanks in that position. Doesn't really have that. But he does have the mobility here of these dropships, and some of Ultra's bases are rather susceptible to that, and Ultra doesn't have a whole lot of units, and what he has been forced to, of course, come back to this main base here. His upgrades have been delayed. Cryoc has started that. Oh my god, Cryoc has +2, right? Wait, what? Cryoc is about to have +2. Cryoc has +2. Ultra has +1, and his armory got killed. So there's going to be a very, very long window here where Cryoc's tanks are massively better. That +2 upgrade, obviously a big deal in TVT. It gets talked about a lot, but if you don't know, if you have +2 for your tanks, then they will 2-shot other tanks, whereas Ultra with just +1 will have to 3-shot other tanks, and that is a huge difference in terms of how fast things die, and a significant advantage for Cryoc, especially when you're looking at at least the next 3 to 4 minutes of the game being played. Okay, well, actually, never mind. I missed this the first time. The next 2 minutes of the game being played with this huge advantage, so this is going to make it very easy for Cryoc to reestablish a lot of his map position. He's comfortably mining off his third base. Now, Ultra's mining this fourth base, but it's a little deceptive. It doesn't have gas. Gas is the big thing in TVT, especially as TVTs go later and there's larger siege lines. Having groups of vultures just aren't that strong. They're good in early TVT, but 2, 3, 4 control group vulture armies don't have much utility in later game TVT. And so Cryoc just kind of holding on to his advantage right now. Just trying to consolidate it, setting up map position. And we can see where he set up his tanks. It's basically saying, nope, you can't have this base. No, you can't have this base. No, you can't have this base because it's part of a choke entrance. And of course he's over here. So basically Cryoc controls all this base, this base, this base, this base, this base right now. So yeah, position on the map very strong right now for Cryoc. And he also has the dropships. So everything about this game looks really great for Cryoc. He also has +1 and Ultra doesn't. The only thing Ultra has going is +1 base. Actually, no, Ultra doesn't even have a base advantage, and it's about to be 4 gas for Cryoc. So literally every possible aspect of the matchup there could be an advantage for Cryoc, he has right now. Now Ultra is going to break up this bottom left-hand position, and if he can get that, that would start to get him access to almost half the map. But I don't know if Cryoc is going to let him do that. I don't know where the dropships have gone either. They were there at one point in time. He had like 3 or 4. I know he lost a couple, but we saw him clear out this drop. Oh, okay. They're still here. So he's still got 4 dropships, going unutilized for the moment. And we've got a few vultures sneaking around this side of the map. But it's just 2 vultures, and there's a lot of tanks. Actually, nope, this base has protection. These vultures cannot do anything. Cannot do anything. And Ultra sending some SCVs to try to build a command center here. That's not going to happen. And hey, Pizza SSC and Octron4, thank you guys for following. I appreciate it a ton. Double! Alright, so Ultra, I don't really know what he can do to get back in the game. He doesn't even have dropships. Cryoc controls all these... Oof. Oops. Oops! +2 now for both players. Yeah, Cryoc just controls the whole map. And Ultra doesn't have, like... Maybe this Wraith transition is what he's going for. I don't see it really working out. He's actually getting a Wraith attack weapon upgrade to try to deal with the non-existent armor from Cryoc, to try to kill tanks faster. But... yeah, stream delay is probably whatever, because I pretty much said as soon as I saw that. So I don't really know where Ultra can go with this. Axel of Life, thank you for following. And alright, I don't know what's causing these little stutters. I feel like it's Brood War and not the stream, but it's weird. That one was a mini stutter though. And Cryoc is actually advancing his position forward here. Now he can't bust into this base. But he is trying to advance his position on the map, and this is going to spark a response from Ultra, but Cryoc has already sieged up. Oh, that was a pretty good mine, actually. These mines are going to town here. So there will probably be enough from Ultra to clean this up after all those mines go off, and with these tanks not sieged. So a little overextension there for Cryoc, and Ultra needs anything he can get at this moment, and this was a good start on that, but Cryoc is... Never mind, these aren't loaded up. Oh, and wow, Cryoc is completely ready for this Wraith transition from Ultra. So Ultra has secured access to at least a 4th gas. That one was always going to be the one gas he got to take, but Cryoc is now cannibalizing what remains of the other gas bases on the map. And Ultra's going to try to use this high ground here to gain control, but there's already a turret up here for vision. And Cryoc has his tank such that Ultra can't really advance forward even and get at that turret. There's a Goliath up here. So lots of good spotter stuff for vision. And Ultra yet to reveal his Wraith transition, insofar as I can tell. But he had more Wraiths than that, so I don't know where they went. And hey, Karma Dilo Jack, thanks for following. And Cryoc has also taken this base, but this, of course, is the non-gas base. Ah, here we go. There we go. But guess what? There's 2 Valks! So unless Ultra can run in and snipe the Valks, these Wraiths will get obliterated. Valkyrie's ridiculously good against Wraiths, but of course the air-to-air damage of Wraiths is super high, so if the Wraiths can quickly target the Valks down, then it's fine for Ultra, but if they can't, well, then it's anything but fine. Cryoc continuing to put tanks up here, just saying, nope, it's okay, you can't have this base, I have more than half the map, I am very content with the position I have. Whereas Ultra's like, this feels bad, this feels bad. Ruskig, I guess it doesn't give you an option to like lower the quality. Like, it's really unfortunate that you're having those kind of problems. And hey, thanks for following a Korean viewer guy and J-Blade. I really need to learn Hangul so I can say names. I need to start learning a little bit of Korean. It'd be really good to know. Makes me sad when I can't. And here we go, another little pause from StarCraft. Little stutter, little stutter. I don't know why it's happening. It's been happening for a few days now. And, oh man, Cryoc can even take this base here. So many gases now for Cryoc. He'll probably take this base soon. He's got 4K minerals. He's actually starting to get a gas bank. He's maxed. The only thing he doesn't have is a lot of factories. He could probably add a few more facts. But outside of that, it looks pretty good. And a bunch of turrets being added. Still just wraiths from Ultra. I don't even know where they went. Is he going to go for one big, massive break over here? Oh, actually, no. I think we can guess what happened to some of his wraith. No? Yeah? Okay, yeah. He did try to run in. And he almost got some snipes. He actually saved most of his wraiths. We can see by the health on them. But... And thank you for following PG Tour. And here's another Brood War stutter. It's like Brood War wants to, like, crash. It's almost like it's trying to tab me. I don't know what's the cause of this. Getting some crazy stuttering. So Cryoc is just sitting here, choking Ultra out. And Ultra, of course, doesn't want to, like, engage into this for understandable reasons. But he's got everything over here. Like, this is a lot of fucking supply over on this side of the map. So I think Ultra wants to make something happen, but that's a lot of tanks. It's a lot of tanks. What's funny is that Cryoc has these dropships, and we've seen zero use of these dropships. Perhaps they died in that engagement, though? I don't know. All right, here we go. The big bust attempt from Ultra. Moving in here, charging in, but that is so many siege tanks from Cryoc. I think he's going to gain an inch of land, but it's not going to be much more than an inch of land at a fairly high cost. Some of these tanks will clear out on both sides, but did it even gain Ultra this base? No, it did not. So, yeah, not much that Ultra can do at this point. He's still repairing these wraiths. Repair is still happening. There's still plenty of Goliaths around, though. There's still Valkyries, still some wraiths from Cryoc. 3 attack for Cryoc. And just no real good options here to do. I mean, like, Ultra, it's kind of on Ultra's end to do something, because Cryoc is the one mining from all these bases. But Ultra can't really do anything, so... Yeah... we'll see what he does. I'm surprised he didn't try something else. And, okay, Ultra just says, fuck it. I can't do anything about this. GG. And so that will be taking us into our next match. But first, we're going to go BRB bathroom. I will be back with you guys in like 35 seconds. No, a minute. All right, well, that is going to leave us. Yeah, I had to whip that 20-year-old basement boy. He was making a little too many whimpers. I was getting tired of that. I was getting tired of that. Having to hear that in the background, you guys don't even know. All right, let's go into our next game, which is also our final game. The rematch. Kingtoss versus Ultra. Again on In the Way of an Eddy. So So congrats, Cryoc is out of the group. Ultra now needs to overcome Kingtoss for a second time to escape the group. And thank you for following Tailspin. Oh man, I don't know how to pronounce that. Messija? I don't even want to try it. I'm butchering it. I'm butchering it. I'm butchering it. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say it. Messija? I don't know. Ah. Alright, in the bottom right hand. Oh, okay. Brood War did just crash. Fuck you, Brood War. Alright, guys. Well, we're coming back. Brood War just died. It finally crashed this time. So it is StarCraft that's having problems. I don't know why. I don't know why. So we're going to restart it. And we'll go from there. This blood on my this is rather rather noticeable, if you will. All right, I'm gonna do a restart here and try to get something out of this. Maybe I'll just reinstall. Maybe there's something going on. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Is that, wait, is it happening to everybody? Because if it's happening to everybody, then I don't feel bad. Like, has anybody else had their Brood War crashing in general, or especially when tabbed? Someone copying the chat, Abby saying... Alright, so we can find the iPad, it's just my phone. Oh, that's a bummer, Risky. I don't know. Alright. Hopefully we won't have any crashes or stupid nonsense this time. I would love to know if other people are having this problem or if it's just me, because then that implies it's probably something with my PC. But if it's something to do with Brood War and the new patch, then I'm less stressed about it. Alright, here we go. Rematch. Kingtoss versus Ultra in the Wave and Eddy. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. As the purple Protoss, we have Kingtoss. And in the top left-hand corner, as the yellow Terran, we have Salty Ultra. The latest pass added a crash for Elma. If user equals infarction, crash Brood War. It's not just me. Okay, so other people are having that problem. Yeah, and I know some people have issues with it crashing. Or not with it crashing, with downloading patches sometimes, but... Alright. So in the last game between these two players, Kingtoss had a pretty decent defense against Ultra's FD. Some pretty interesting moments with Vultures, with SCV getting a Dragoon kill and Probes getting a Mine kill. Superhero Probe saved 2 Dragoons from a Mine. And then Kingtoss got a Citadel and added some gateways and got a shuttle. But then in a bizarre twist of fate, he actually got 2 Citadels, got leg speed, but then he didn't make any Zealots. And then he did a bust that looked kind of scary, but kind of not, because he ended up with only 5 Dragoons and a shuttle against like 4 tanks and 3 Goliaths. And he just walked all his Dragoons in a very ugly clump, and it didn't really do anything. And then he had speed, but he didn't make Zealots, and so he didn't have like reinforcing speed lots coming across the map. He had a few Dragoons that weren't going to do anything. So it was a very odd game from Kingtoss. So we'll see if it's any better for him this time. It was not very good for him, I'm not going to lie. It was a little on the painful side. So we're going to see where this goes. Kingtoss is cross-scouting first and is going to waltz right into the base of Ultra. He's going to be like, hey, how's it going, buddy? How you doing? How you doing today? Wow, Rustcake. That's like obvious map hacking. Like, are you kidding me? You straight scouted to somebody on a 2-player map? That's total bullshit, bro. Super bullshit. Like, there's no way. There's no way you got that lucky that you didn't check, like, every proxy location, like, right before the base. That's really sketch, bro. Should probably tone down the map hacks. Alright, so we got the factory going up. And we're going to have a Dragoon, and well, we're waiting on some gas. See if we're going to have range, but it's obviously not going to be fake range. Range? No. Probe first. Still waiting to see if we'll get range. I guess he could go for something else and just not even get fake range at all. Will the Dragoon be out in time to block the ramp? No, I don't believe it will. Not quite. So the SUV is going to get in, and Kingtoss misses that. Okay, we still have no range. So this is interesting. He's going to fake aggression and get a late range as a result. We have the FD looking-ish build from Ultra. One on gas, so yeah, looks like FD. Still no range. Still a lot of gas. SCV is now officially dead. Still no range. Okay. Alright. Alright. Gonna proxy DTs. But he's let him see no range. There's a bunker up here for Ultra. Doesn't know what he's up against. Although, bunker is an interesting choice, given that he definitively scouted like that range was going to be very slow. I don't know, Arcneon. Whether or not you call the police is going to depend on how much you love my cast. Like, if you call the police, like, you're obviously a fucking hater. Like, only a hater would ever call the police when someone's casting Broodor. Like, don't question my methods. If you like the casting, just shut up and listen. If you don't, then you're a hater, and yeah, you're going to call the police. But that's a very hater thing to do. Alright, now we have range spinning. And Ultra's going to see one gate, but he's going to pretty much know, should know, that this wouldn't make any sense, because there's no Nexus. One gate, range wasn't spinning, there's no Nexus. All the siren bells should be flashing in Ultra's mind right now. This has been fairly telegraphed. All he needs to do, oh, he's got a turret there, so yeah. Might even have a turret in the main. I think he suspects DTs too, given this positioning. This looks like anti-DT positioning rather than anti-Reaver positioning. And Kingtoss knows there's Vulture Ras coming, can't have that. So he's going to put up triple pylons for a pylon wall there at his ramp. The reverse pylon wall. Alright, here comes the DT. It's going to waltz on in. And by in, I mean it's going to waltz on into the wall. And just walked up to the barracks and was like, oh, well, that's awkward. We're making a second DT. Vultures are still harassing here at the natural. This is not going to go well for Slow Lot. Vulture does take some damage there. And, okay, so Ultra disposes of that Zealot. And, I can't even put down a Nexus. This probe is desperately wanting to sneak in here and get a Nexus. But it can't. It's not allowed. Wait, Ultra scouted the proxy with this SCV? Oh, he actually just outright scouted it. Alright, well, props to Ultra for scouting it. Fails to me for not noticing that Ultra scouted it. I kind of noticed that he scouted it, but I didn't actually see that he scouted it. Oh, what? Okay. Alright, I like this Kingtoss guy. When in doubt, just go ahead and take a Nexus at your proxy spot. Alright, so Kingtoss is going to go double Nexus behind the DT here. Double Nexus behind the DT. Let's see here. Ultra has 2 fags. He's got a shitload of Vultures. And Kingtoss can't get units out of his main. He's going to basically have no units here. So this Dragoon should get mined up, basically, and die. Or maybe not even mined up, because it's so low on health, and he can't run anywhere. There's nowhere for it to run to. Might kill a vulture. Might. Nope, not even able to kill a vulture. Now the pylons are under attack. And this pylon's going to die. We're going to switch into a DT, which is kind of good, but also kind of not good for defense. It's easy to run around, but it's kind of hard to see and hard to deal with. A few more mines being laid here, trying to actually push this Dragoon further away from the ramp. I don't know why that probe came up there. And the vultures are now into the main, so most of the probes are going to die. And it's looking pretty bad, and Kingtoss just says GG. And there you have it. Ultra takes down Kingtoss and cruises on into the round of 16. So that is going to do it for BSL games for the day. So a bit of an anticlimactic ending, but there were a few good games in there, a couple good TVZs. I guess thanks to TTF and who's our other boy? TTF and Castro, and UltraLing for giving us some good ZVTs. Kingtoss for a few funny moments. I can't say the games were good, but there were a couple good moments in those games. And I guess that's gonna about, yeah, do it. So I think we're gonna play a little bit now. Thanks to all you guys for watching, for following, for being awesome. Thanks to Zero, Hatchet, Han, everybody else for organizing freaking BSL, which is just amazing every time. I'm just like, yes, this is great. And of course, we'll be back with more games on Thursday. That'll be our final two groups, which I guess if I can alphabet, that would be G and H. And we're going to kill the BSL image. Don't need that. And I guess we're going to unlist our stream from TL as part of the event, since that has passed. We'll call it good. Yeah, thanks, man. Let's rewatch the TVT. Yeah, we'll rewatch the TVT, but only the last like 12 minutes of the TVT, okay? Like, I don't want to rewatch the first 12 minutes. There was like some things happened. That would be a little too exciting. Like, if we're gonna take a nap, let's take a nap like properly, right? I'm sure we can all agree on that. All right, to play random or to play